Hi everyone, Benison this side. Basically, Zoho Payroll is a cloud-based solution like any other Zoho application. It basically simplifies and automates your entire payroll process. It helps you in calculating the employee salaries accurately and also helps you in managing the country's specific social security benefit compliances, gratuity calculation, helps you generate the SIF file, which can be used for the salary disbursement using the WPS system, and sends the payslips out every month to the employees automatically, basically taking care of all the payroll activities seamlessly for your business. So before we get into the walkthrough of the session, let me also show you the key differences that you can find across the GCC edition of Zoho Payroll. Um, I hope this is visible to you. So I'm highlighting a key and the general differences among all the editions of Zoho Payroll. So the differences would lie in the case of currency, financial year, unique ID for the employees, and the IBAN format, basically the payment details, the IBAN format, the account number, all those things. So in the case of UAE, it will be AED. For KSA, it is SAR. For Bahrain, it's a Bahraini dinar, and for Kuwait, it's dinar. Similarly, for other editions, also it will vary. And the financial year remains the same across all the editions except for Kuwait. For Kuwait alone, it is April till March. For the other edition, it will be from January till December. For UAE, it'll be the unique ID will be the MOL ID. For KSA, it is national ID or Ikama ID. For Bahrain, it is CPR, and for Kuwait, it is civil ID. Yeah, so similarly, it will vary from edition to edition, and same goes for IBAN format also. So now let me walk you through the software now, and also I'll be highlighting you the differences in the other edition in terms of the social security benefit compliances and the variation in the gratuity calculation. For the demonstration, I have taken the UI of the UAE edition. Let me also tell you one thing: the modules, the key features that we have remain the same across all the edition. The user interface you are seeing here, this is for UAE. Similarly, it is the same for other editions also. The differences would lie in all these things alone, which I just highlighted and which I'm going to highlight now, which is the social security benefit and the end of service calculation, the gratuity calculations. All right. So we are at the admin dashboard now. So basically, once you log in, this will be the dashboard for you. So once you log in, this will show you the ongoing payroll details, whether that is a regular one or a full and final settlement. It will be shown to you here at the top. And also, if there's any payroll that you have run so far, the payroll costs will be shown here in a graphical manner. That will basically show you the cost that is incurred in running the monthly pay runs. You can also find the employee summary that will show you the total number of active employees serving your company with the bifurcation of GCC nationals and the expatriate employees. You can also find the social security benefit contribution details, and you can also find the pending task here in the to-do task section. If there's anything that is pending from your side which needs to be highlighted to the admin, it will be notified to you here. Something like any employee's document getting expired, or any employee's full and fine settlement that you need to process, or any salary revisions pending for the approval. All such things will be notified to you here. And on the left-hand pane, you can find all the key modules. So here we have employees module where all of the employees information will be managed. If you're looking into a particular record, you will find their basic information like the name, email address, the employee, the phone number, date of joining, gender, work location, department, designation, all these things. And then you can also find the personal information about the employees, the payment information. So basically, these all information we can synchronize from Zoho People itself. As most of you must be using Zoho People, so we can integrate Zoho People with payroll, and all these information can be seamlessly pushed into payroll. And secondly, in the employee's record, you will find the employee's compensation structure, the employee's earnings like basic, housing allowance, and whatever it is applicable, you can associate with the employees. And also, if there's any benefits associated, we can update it here. And then you can find the employee's pay slips. You can find the loan details. If there's any loan transactions or any salary advances given to the employees, that will be shown here for that particular employee. And then you can find the employee's documents. If you have captured the employee's visa, insurance, card. All those things can be recorded over here. And while you're recording, we can capture the file type, document number, country, when it is issued, until when it is valid, and when it is going to be expired. So all these information will be captured here. And if there's any expiry of the documents nearing, it will be notified to the admin as well as to the employee. And there is a consolidated dashboard also. If you want to view a dashboard to view all the employees' document at one place, that is also available to you here. And in order to update the salary information, that is something which you have to directly import it into Zoho Payroll. So here we have given an import option, which is going to be a bulk import option. And underneath this, you will find list of details here in the import section. You can find salary details. So here in salary details, we have also given a sample file. So you can download a sample file and prepare the data according to that. So the sample file is going to be very straightforward. You just need to update the employee's code and what all earnings they have, like basic, housing allowance. All those things can be updated in that sheet, and we can update it in one go here. So in this way, we can update the employee's salary information. And then next thing is the employee's pay run processing, right? So here we have a pay runs module where the regular payroll, and also if there's any full and fine settlement that you need to process, that can be carried out from this particular module. And then we have other pay run options also, like one-time payout, off-cycle pay run. One-time payout is basically to pay any bonus or any other one-time earnings, just a single one-time earning in a middle of a month. If you want to pay that, you can process it through one-time payout. You can just simply choose that component and the date when you want to process, and you can create a pay run for that. You can add those employees whom you want to pay, and the amount can be processed for them. So this is a one-time payout. Similarly, we also have something called off-cycle pay run. Off-cycle pay run is basically to process multiple one-time earnings like bonus, incentives, and if you want to release any withheld salary for an employee whose salary was withheld in the previous month, if you want to release it in the middle of a month, or maybe if you want to make any adjustment in the loss of pay for the previous month, those things can be done using the off-cycle pay run. And then the next model is the revision approval. So basically, if you're revising any employee salary, so in the employee's record, if you go to the salary details, you'll find revise as the option. So from here, you can revise the employee salary in the middle of a financial year. And also you can choose effective from month, when it should be effective, and when you're supposed to pay that to the employee, and then you'll submit this. So I'm showing you from the UI. If you want to do this for multiple employees, we also have an option to bulk update this information. So we have this salary revision as the option under the import data section. So from here, you can update the salary revision details. So either way, if you're updating the salary revision, that will come here for the approvals. So the admin who have the rights to approve the salary revisions can verify these salary revision details, and they can approve it. So you can basically delegate a task to any admin to manage this operation. And then the next module is loans. So any salary advance or loans you're giving to the employees can be basically recorded over here. So you can record the loan name. You can create multiple type of loans. You can associate with the employee. The loan amount can be updated here, disbursement date, and the reason for providing this loan. And you can define the installment amount that needs to be recovered from their salary on a monthly basis. And also you can define from which month onwards that EMI, loan installment, should be recovered from the employee salary. So after updating this information, it will be deducted automatically from the employee salary. And in the financial year, like in the middle of this loan recovery, if the employee makes a repayment outside the system, we can also record such repayment details. In case of any financial crisis for the employee, if you want to pack them, if you want to pause the installment deduction, if you want to schedule that deduction to pause, you can also define that over here. And then we have documents. Basically here in the document section, apart from the employee's KYC documents, if there's any other documents that you want to store, that can be managed in the employees folder here. And organization specific folders, like your policy documents or any historical documents, if you want to store and manage, can be done in the documents module. And finally, in the report section, you can find various payroll informations. Yeah. So I'll show you this report part in detail in a while. Before that, let's check the settings part. So these are the configuration that we are offering. So first one here is the organization configuration. So you will be updating your organization's logo that you want to display in the payslips, the organization's name, industry in which you serve in, the date format that you will follow across the organization's address, the default address that you want to show in the payslips. So all these information can be recorded, and then multiple work locations, if there are any, that can be basically managed here. So with the help of Zoho People integration, this work location will also be synchronized. And if there's any location, so with respect to UAE, if there's any location that is coming under the free zone, that you can mark that location under free zone and choose that respective free zone also. And then comes the department designation. So these lists of department designations can be updated here. And then nextly, you will find the user and roles. So basically, in user and roles, you can invite multiple people to your organization who can manage the payroll activities. So you can invite them with the email address and the role that you have defined. So in the roles section, you have the option to set the level of access that you want to assign to the user. So someone from the HR team, if you are inviting them to just take care of the employees' details, you can give access to the employees module. And within that employee module, if you want to restrict them from viewing the employee salary details, or maybe just you want to give a view access, not to edit anything, that can also be defined. And there are other modules also, like pay runs, where you can define the maker and checker role. So that can be configured, or you can find for other modules also, like loans, approvals. So these modules and the configurations are there. You can define that level of access for that particular user. And then we have setup and configuration option. So here you will be configuring the pay schedule. Pay schedule is nothing but where you will be defining the payday for your employees every month, which can be a tentative date also. It is not a fixed one. When you are running the payroll, at that time, you can also record the actual date of payment. So you can update the tentative date of payment here as a payday. And you can also define the first pay period, the month basically from when you want to run the payroll in the system. Suppose you want to get started from now onwards. So let's say from October month onwards, you want to run the payroll in the system. You can configure October 2025 as the first pay period month. And the past payroll information of this financial year can be imported. So let's say from January till now, till September month, you can import that past payroll information, and you can go ahead and run the payroll for the October month, right? And in the social security benefit, you can find the social security benefit calculation. So basis the nationality, GCC nationality, it will be calculated automatically. So right now I'm at the UAE edition, right? So for UAE here, for UAE citizens, it is GPSSA or ADPF. GPSSA is applicable to all the employees except for the citizens from the Abu Dhabi region. So it is, yeah. So the old pension scheme, new pension scheme, these are considered here. You can find the employer and the employee contribution rate here. And also you can configure the maximum contributory wage also. So the limit till which you want to cap it. You can also find the list of salary components which are considered for this benefit calculation. And also you'll get an option here, calculate on pro rata basis, whether you want to calculate this contribution on the basis of employees' working days. And also there is an option called postpone the updated GPSSA contribution due to salary revision to the next calendar year. So in case if you are revising any employee salary, and if you want to consider that updated contribution from the next calendar year onwards, you can postpone this. So these two configurations are also available in the other social security benefit configurations also. So similarly for ADPF also, you can find the contribution details here, the employer and the employee contribution, whether old pension scheme or new pension scheme, you can find both of them over here. And here also you can configure the maximum contributory wage, and the components also you can check which are contributing for this particular benefit calculation. So that was about the UAE, right? So let me also walk you through the other editions differences. All right. So as you can see here, these are the lists of Social Security benefit contribution across the region. So as we have already seen about GPSSA, there are other benefits also like GOSI, which is applicable for the KSA citizens, and SIF for Bahraini, SPF for Omani citizens, and GRSI for Qatar citizens, PIFSS for Kuwait citizens. And you can find the employer contribution, employee contribution, maximum contributory wage, and the allowances which are conserved for this benefit contribution. And in all of these the benefits also, there are further bifurcation, which I'll show you now. Let's go back into the product, and I'm switching my UI to the KSA edition. So I'm at the KSA edition now. For Saudi citizens in the Saudi org here, there are three bifurcation: GOSI, which is the GOSI annuity, the benefit, the retirement benefit, and then GOSI occupational hazard, and then we have GOSI SANIT, the unemployment contribution. So in this case, GOSI occupational hazard is something which is applicable to all the employees, which will be calculated automatically. And I'm switching again to the next edition, Bahrain. So here in Bahrain edition, when you're configuring, SIA contribution will be shown here. So in the SIO contribution, you can find SIO contribution, SIO's employment injury, unemployment insurance. You can find the employer-employee contribution, Bahraini citizen, to Bahraini citizen, SI is applicable, and employment injury, unemployment insurance is something which is applicable to all the employees. So these things will also be shown to you in the configuration. And moving on next to the Qatar edition. Here for Qatar edition, you can see, mm, yeah, you can see GRSIA contribution, the employer and the employee contribution. It is applicable only to the Qatar citizens. Maximum contributory wage you can configure here. You can also find the salary components which are applicable for this particular benefit component. And similarly, you can find it for Oman. For Oman's Social Security benefit is SPF, occupational diseases, employment security, maternity leaves, sick and other leaves, and yeah. So you can also check the applicability over here. And next thing is for Kuwait. So in the Kuwait edition of Zoho Payroll, you can find the PIFSS contribution here, and within this you can find the bifurcations here: PIFSS, unemployment, supplementary insurance, remuneration fund, pension increase. So all these benefit contributions are calculated as per the norms. So this is what I wanted to show you. So basically, these are taken care in the system. These are the things which the system itself will compute and ensure these compliances are taken care. As such, like, you don't need to manually intervene and configure anything. Just that you have to configure the maximum contribution wage wherever needed. And yeah, so that was about the Social Security benefit contribution. So system will take care when you're running the payroll automatically. And then in salary components, nextly, you can find the options to configure the earnings, deductions, and benefits. It's kind of a repository. Basically, you can configure all these components here. And then later, you can assign these components to the employees, and you can flexibly define or design the employee salary structure. So when you're creating an earnings, you can find the list of earnings from the drop down here. You can choose the earning, you can choose the earning type, you can mention the earning name, you can mention the name and payslip that you want to display to them in the payslip. And the calculation type, you can define whether it should be a flat amount or it should be a percentage of basic, and whether it should be calculated on a pro rata basis, and then you can mark it as active. And on the other side, you can see here these Social Security benefit contributions are something which is already configured. So you don't need to configure for each component whether it should be considered for GPSSA or ADPF or any other contribution. So it is something which is just system configured. So you can also find components like a bonus, like variable components. You can define their name, and whenever needed, you can assign these bonus component to the employee when you're running the payroll. And in the case of overtime, you must be providing overtime to your employees. So you can define the overtime allowance component with a formula. We have a formula option here. We can define the formulas, And basis the number of hours input when you're running the payroll, basis the number of hours input, we can automate the calculation. And if you're following multiple rates like 1.25 in the general weekdays, if the employees are working overtime, and if the employees are working in the weekends, and if the overtime rate is 1.5, you can define that overtime rate as 1.5 here. So for each rate, we can define different overtime allowance. And when you're running the payroll, you can assign or import the overtime hours, and system can automatically calculate the overtime allowance, right? And in the case of full and final settlement, if you want to pay out the annual leave salary which are accrued, and if you want to automate the calculation, you can define the formula for that use case also. So we can define it over here, and basis the number of days input which you'll give during the full and final settlement pay run, the system will automatically calculate that. And in the case of deductions, any type of one-time deductions or recurring type of deductions can be created, right? And benefits like medical insurance or any other kind of benefit that you're providing to the employees can be created from here, and we can assign it to the employees. And then we have employees portal options. So from here, you can enable the portal access to your employees, and you can make any announcement also. You can mention the banner message here, and you can also choose a period till when it should be displayed to them. And also you can have a control over documents or the letters that you want to show to them in the employees portal. And in the customization section, you can find the email templates. So basically, these are the email templates which are auto-generated by the system and sent out to the employees. If you want to customize them, it can be customized. And then we have salary templates. Basically, this is used to define different salary structure. So if you want to have different salary structure in a form of a template, you can define the template name, maybe basis the employee salary band or designation wise. If you have different salary structure, can create different templates. It's an additional one, it's not a mandatory thing, so it's an additional option. If you want to have different templates, you can create and assign with the employees. Otherwise, we can import it as I shown you in the import section in the employees module. And the next thing is a PDF template. So you can find various payslip templates here. So whichever suits your organization's need, you can keep that as a default one. So organization's logo can be resized. You can find the fields that you want to show in the payslip here. You can disable it also. And you can find the organization's logo, the name, address, employee summary. And also you can check the total net pay for the employee in that month, the total number of paid days, loss of paid days, the earnings, deductions. Yeah. So yeah, overall, all these mandatory or important details will be shown in the payslip. So you can choose any one of these templates from here. And the next thing is the full and final settlement payslip template. So this is something which will be generated for the exited employees after the full and final settlement is completed. Yeah. So if you want to modify the declaration by the receiver content, that can also be modified. And then you can further check the letter templates, the salary certificate, salary revision letter, bonus letter, salary transfer letter. All these letters can be generated from the system. If you want to modify the content of any of these letters, that is also possible. You can also upload the the signature image here that can be shown in the letters here at the bottom. Yeah. Next thing is reporting tag. So if you basically, this reporting tag is something which can assign to the employees, and using this tags, we can filter out their details during the pay runs or reports. When you're generating a reports, you can filter out the employees information basis these reporting tag, right? So that is the purpose of having the reporting tag. And then we have general configuration. So here, if you want to create any additional fields to capture the employee's details, custom field can be created. You can find the document expiry reminder notification. So any employee's KYC documents getting expired, reminders for that can be triggered, and you can modify the content of that letter, the notification also. And in pay runs, if you want to have multiple level of approvals, simple level of approvals or multiple level of approvals, or if you want to have a custom approval thing that you want to configure, that can be done in the general configurations over here. And similarly for salary revisions, if you want to have simple approvals or multiple level of approvals, that can also be configured. And let me also tell you one more thing. We have, like, if you are going with a standalone Zoho Payroll application, we also have something called leave and attendance model, which is a part of Zoho Payroll. If you want, it can be enabled. So that is a fundamental leave and attendance model. Basically, if you want to manage the basic level of attendance and the leaves, that can be managed here. If you want to have a comprehensive solution for leave and attendance, employees onboarding, if you want to manage the performance management of the employees, so basically this is something which can be managed through Zoho People itself. Otherwise, if you are going with a standalone solution, if you want a basic level of attendance leaves, that can be managed within Zoho Payroll itself. So I'm showing you the leave and attendance model of Zoho Payroll now. So here you can configure the attendance cycle that you follow, whether it's a monthly attendance or if it is a custom attendance like this, like 25th till 24th of the next month. And you can configure the payroll report generation date when you want to generate the report. And after that, you can run the payroll and pull the LOP information into the payroll for the salary calculations. And then in leave type, you can configure multiple type of leaves. So when you're configuring the leave type, you can configure with the leave name, the code, the leave type, whether it's a paid one or unpaid, and how you want to manage the leave request, and the applicability to whom it should be applicable. All these things can be configured here. And then you can also configure multiple holidays in a calendar year. And in attendance, you can configure basically the shift. If it is single shift, it can be configured here. And how you want to capture the attendance, whether on the basis of first, second, and last checkout, or only the valid check-in checkout should be considered. And when the half day should be considered, when it should be full day. All these configurations can be done here in the leave and attendance model of Zoho Payroll. Otherwise, I'm sure most of you must be using Zoho People. You can integrate with that, and you can seamlessly manage the leave and attendance from people, and payroll can be managed through Zoho Payrolls itself. And further, we have the integration part, where I wanted to show you the integration option that we have. So here we have the integration, as we already spoke multiple times about Zoho People. So that is available here. And the next thing is the Zoho Books integration, which is our accounting solution. And with Zoho Books integration, we can post the journal entries, payroll transactions automatically. This is the integration for you, integration page. So here you can configure the account in which you want to post the transactions, which is managed in Zoho Books, and how those transactions should be recorded, whether it should be recorded as an individual transaction or a group transaction, that can be managed. Then whether it should be posted as an accrual basis or cash basis, and when it is posted, whether it should be in draft status or it should be in the published status, you can define that. And all these expense and the liability accounts will be mapped automatically. And if you are already maintaining any expense or liability accounts as such in Zoho Books, that can also be mapped under this section. So the chart of accounts will be mapped here, and in that respective chart of accounts, the transaction will be posted automatically. And the other integration option is with Zoho Expense. If you're already using Expense, it can also be integrated. And if you wish to pay the approved expense amount along with the monthly salary, you can go ahead with this integration, and this can be seamlessly pushed into payroll. And along with the monthly salary, these business expense reimbursements will also be processed in the monthly payroll for the employees. And so we have so far seen all the configurations, and also let me show you, we have something called getting started. So basically, as a first time user, if you're signing up with the solution, these are the checklist which will be shown to you. So basically, this will guide you to run your first payroll from the system. So here, first thing is updating the employees, organization's details, which I've already seen, configuring the pay schedule, configuring the social security benefit, salary component configuration, adding your employees, and last thing is the configuring the prior payroll details. So last thing is, so we have seen all these options till add employee. Configure prior payroll is something which I already mentioned, that if you're going to start from October month onwards, if you want to import the past payroll details of this financial year, that can be imported using the configure prior payroll option. So we can just enable this option, and you can start importing the month on month past payroll details, and we can run the October month or any other month which you want to process through the system. So that was about the configurations. Now let me show you the parents part. So this is the crucial one of this session. So here we can run the regular payroll. Let me show you the payroll for October month, which is in the ready status. So once I click on create parent, this payroll will get generated, and it will be in the draft status now. So as an admin, once you have created this, you can view the parent details. In the pending task, you can find the option called fetch data. This is to fetch the employee's loss of pay and the payable days information for the salary calculations. So once you initiate this option, LOP will be applied to all the applicable employees. And you can find the salary calculations over here. You can find the summary of employees' pay here. You can find the paid days, gross pay, deductions, benefits, net pay. If you click on any employee, you can find the breakup of their salary. You can find their earnings, details, benefits, deductions, right? So if you want to add any additional earnings over and above their fixed salary, like bonus, commissions, or overtime, that can be choose from here. We can apply that value, whether it's in the case of overtime, it can be updated. The overtime hours can be updated, or you can update the bonus amount if you're adding bonus. And the same thing can be updated in bulk also using the import option. And in the case of Zoho People integration, we can also synchronize the overtime hours basis the use case. So based on the case of the use case, we can understand your requirements and we can help you with the integration of the overtime hours from people to payroll, right? But otherwise, it can also be directly imported from here. And the option to make the adjustment in the loss of pay for the previous month is also available. You can do that in bulk. You can also withhold the employee salary, can release at any point in time. And you can also export the parent details in the Excel format. And if you want to compare the current month's salary with the previous month's salary, you can also get a comparison report for that. That is in two different format, employee wise difference and component wise difference. So these differences would be highlighted to you in this particular report. So once you export these reports and verify the parent details, you can go ahead and submit the parents. And before we submit the parent, let me also show you. These are the deduction summary that is available. So you can check this also. You can also get an overall insight of this parent with various summaries here. So all these details you can make use to verify the parents, and then you can submit and approve. So I'm just submitting and approving the parent. You also have, okay, just a moment. So I was telling you also have an option to keep a maker and checker to run the payroll. So you can assign a role to someone who can update all these key information in the parents and submit that for the further approvals. And then the verifier can verify the parents and they can approve it. So the final approver can approve it, or multiple level of approvals can also be configured. So now once I approve the parent, and once it is approved finally, you'll get the option to download a zip file. You can download a zip file from here. And if you want it in a particular format, you can also choose it from here. We have it in multiple formats. So in the case of UAE, here it is in Abu Dhabi Commercial Bank format, Al Ansari Exchange. Similarly, for other editions also, you can find multiple formats for the CIF file or wage file, right? In UAE, we call it as CIF file, and in other editions, we call it as wage file. You can find it there. Let me also switch and show you the KSA edition also. So I'm at the KSA edition, the Saudi edition. And once the parent is approved, you will get the CIF file. Okay, let me just switch to the other org and show you. Yeah, so here you'll get a wage file, right? And yeah, so you'll also get a bank advice file. If you want to make the salary disbursement through the bank, you can download the bank advice file. I'm switching back to the UAE edition now. So yeah, going with the flow. Now once the bank advice file or CIF file is downloaded, and once you make the payments through the WPS system or through the banks, you can record that date of payment here. So you can record the date of payment and confirm. So once you confirm, employees will be notified about the pay slips and pay slips will be generated. And also once it is confirmed, the employees who have the portal access can get an email notification with the link to access the portal and check the payslips. Employees who don't have the portal access, they will get an attachment of the payslip, and they can download it from the email itself, right? And yeah, so in the case of full and fine settlement, you can basically go to the employee. Okay. All right. So in the case of full and fine settlement, if you are integrated with Zoho people, you'll get a task here. In our team will be updating the employee date of exit, and the status will be updated as resigned or terminated. And to the payroll team here, they will get a to-do task saying this employee has been exited from Zoho people. You have to process the FNF for them, right? And then you will be updating the settlement date, the full and fine settlement date here. So that can be updated, and then you will be landing in this full and fine settlement page. So I have created a bulk full and fine settlement. Either you can do the full and fine settlement for an individual employee, or if you want to run a full and fine settlement including multiple people, let's say 10, 15 people are leaving in a month. If you want to club together and run the full and fine settlement, you can also do such type of bulk full and fine settlement. So in that bulk full and fine settlement, you can find the employees full and fine settlement calculation. So I'm at the KSA edition here. So you can find here the full and fine settlement payroll is created and the employees breakup is available, and gratuity is calculated automatically to the applicable employees, and unpaid leave, if there's any, that can be applied here, and we can calculate the gratuity accurately basis that. So in this way, we can run the full and fine settlement, and the process remain the same even for the full and fine settlement. So you'll provide the all in key inputs, and then you'll submit and approve, and then you'll download a bank advice file or a SIF file, or we can call it as wage file also. So once you make the payments, you can record the date of payment. So the process to run the full and fine settlement or regular payroll remains the same. And yeah, finally, now in the report section, um, let me show you. These are the key reports that we have. So as accounts team, they would need this salary register on a monthly basis. So that can be exported from here. So in the salary register, you can find the employees' earnings, which are processed in that month, benefits, deductions, if there's any business expense reimbursements and net pay, all these things will be captured here. You can choose a month for which you want to generate the report, and it can also be filtered basis the work location, department, or designation, or employee status. And we also have this reporting tag, right? So basis the reporting tag also, we can filter out the employee's information. And you can also check the gratuity liability. So here we have gratuity liability report, and that can be filtered for any period also, and we can generate this report. And there are other reports for the benefit contributions on to check the social security benefits. If you want a journal summary format, you can also get it from here. And if you want to check the activity logs to check the activity of the other users in the organization, that can also be extracted from here. So this can also be used for the auditing purpose. So that was about the reports part. And with respect to the full and fine settlement, the gratuity is something which is a compliant thing, right? So it will vary from edition to edition. So every country has their own compliance when it comes to the end of service calculations. And I have a slide with me to show you the differences. So basically, these are the things that are incorporated already in the system. So I'm just telling for your reference. So as you can see here, for KSA, Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, I have mentioned the differences. UAE, we have already discussed in the session. So yeah, so these are the things that are already incorporated. So for example, for KSA case, it is gratuity, something which is applicable to all the nationals, whether it's GCC national or expatriate employees, and it is calculated on the gross. And similarly, for Bahrain, it is considered only for non-GCC nationals, just for the expatriate employees, and full salary is considered for the calculations. You can also check the minimum service period for that, and end of service benefit, how it is calculated for different conditions, and the type of resignation, or basically a type of exit to which it is applicable, and special cases in that calculation. All these things are ensured and taken care in the system, right? Coming back to the product now, I wanted to show you the employee side also. So I have already logged into the employee self-service portal here. So here, as an employee, I can check the recent payslip details, the payment information, the benefits contribution if there's any. And to know more details, I can go to the salary details here. I can check the salary information here, and I can download a salary revision letter also. You can check the salary revision history. Salary certificate can also be downloaded. Can also check the annual earnings here, benefit contribution. Can also check the payslip details, documents, employees profile. All these information can be checked from the employee self-service portal here. So that was all about Zoho Payroll. And also in the case of leave and attendance, if you're going with Zoho Payroll's leave and attendance, you'll also get a check-in, check-out option. Let me also show you that now. Yeah, in the case of standalone Zoho Payroll and you're going with LNA module, then you will also get an option to check in, check out. So basically, employees can check in, check out, and that can be tracked. So yeah, so almost I have covered everything in this demonstration. So I hope that is clear to you all, and hope you would have got a clear understanding about the features and the functionality of Zoho Payroll. Thank you for your patience and for attending this session.